everyone. It is a beautiful morning to be outside. We are in the Beartooth Wilderness in southern Montana, and our goal today and tomorrow is to summit Granite Peak. I started out this morning at the Mystic Lake trailhead. Tentative route today is up to Mystic Lake, follow the Phantom Creek trail up to Froze to Death Plateau, and hopefully spend the night on Froze to Death Plateau, and then tomorrow morning attempt to summit Granite Peak. My goal on this hike is to provide the best possible footage to allow you to decide for yourself if this is something you want to attempt or not. This goes without saying, of course. There are always inherent dangers on a semi-technical mountain like this, and of course I can't make your risk assessment for you, but what I hope to do here is give you some quality footage to help you make your own risk assessments. I camped last night in the Emerald Lake campground. It's only about 2 miles from the trailhead. I showed up to the campground around midday on a weekday, and it was only about halfway full. But yeah, I had no problem finding the spot. Even if that campground was full, there are some more dispersed spots lower down, further from the trailhead. The camp was pretty basic, just some drop toilets. I didn't even see a water pump, but it was right next to the river, so I just walked down to the river and filled up my water bottles. Yeah, driving into the trailhead was about 14 miles of dirt roads. Some of you are probably wondering what the conditions like. Well, I made it in a small car, so I think regardless of what you're driving, you shouldn't have any problem. I started around 8. I think I have plenty of time to get where I'm going, but I just wanted to get in front of the heat a little bit. The round trip distance is like it's about 36k or 22-ish miles. I'm not certain about that. Anyway, this definitely could be done in a day if you're in good shape. I'm on the shore of Mystic Lake right now. It was about 2.5 miles up to the first viewpoint, and then from there rather, it's about another half a mile to the turn off to Phantom Creek. So let's go have a look. I did bring some bear spray just as a precaution, as always. I mean, this is grizzly bear country. Having said that, there's a decent amount of traffic here, and I don't think it'd be likely that you'd see one. Though, having said that, there was a spotting in the camp last night. I didn't see a bear myself. Whoever did see it said it probably was not a grizzly, but nonetheless, that's something you'll want to keep in mind. We're at the turnoff now for Phantom Creek Trail. I met a man walking up here yesterday who said I was going to be sick of switchbacks by the time I was done with this. I think there's about 30 in total. Anyway, I told him I was sick of them before I even began the trek. I know there are some groups that will head over to Avalanche Lake and then camp there, and then from there it's a scramble up to the saddle between Tempest Mountain and Granite Peak. I've heard it's a bit of a bushwhack, though if you would prefer to camp in a place that's less exposed, probably is a better option for you. I'm still walking switchbacks on the Phantom Creek Trail, though I have not been counting. At this point, I'm not really complaining. They're quite gradual, as I was expecting. I'm nearing the top of the tree line here, coming up on like 2,800 meters, or that's about 9,000 feet. I'm stepping onto the Froze to Death Plateau right now. Absolutely beautiful up here. I got most of the info for this hike from summitpost.com. They did say there's some camp spots at the foot of Tempest Mountain. At the moment, I don't know how much snow is up there. Yeah, I can't quite see it from here. I am absolutely loving it up here. Although I do wish there was a little bit more shade. I'm just under 11,000 feet here, or 3,300 meters. And the first water source is here, along with a couple of quite nice sheltered camp spots. But it's only about noon and I have plenty of time left. So if I walk further today, that's less I have to walk tomorrow. All right, we are past 3,500 meters. We're on 11,500 feet. We have behind me a good view of Tempest Mountain, and yeah, Granite Peak is a little bit hard to see from here. Anyway, there are a few sheltered spots here, and from this point it's a little bit less than 2 miles or less than 3K from the summit. So I'm gonna have a late lunch, set up camp here, and enjoy some views. It's about 20 past 5. We're at the base of Tempest Mountain. From this point, we're going to walk downhill to a saddle between Tempest and Granite Peak. And then at that point, we'll start moving up the ridge of Granite Peak. We're looking up at the east ridge now. Oh, there is a faint trail underneath me, but it looks like it's leading right into the snow. So I'm going to go higher on the ridge, scramble on some rocks, try to get around the snow. A little bit slow going up here. Just snaking back and forth on the rocks to avoid as many snowfields as I can. I just reached the top of the east ridge. After the snow, there was a little bit of a climber's trail to follow, and also a couple of cairns. And it was pretty steady class 3 the whole way up. Next obstacle is going to be the snow bridge. And then after that, I can see up to the summit block from where I am. From here, there's a notch in a rock I can see, and then traverse over to the south face. So at the moment, I'm just studying the rock from far away to figure out what my route's going to be. Okay, that crossing actually went pretty smooth. I know there's some groups here that choose to rope up. And I got word that yesterday a group came up here without any equipment, and then a guide from a separate group advised them to turn back, which thankfully they did. Just because the snow's in good condition now doesn't mean it'll be the same way in the afternoon. Another one of the reasons that I came up here early. Snow right now is in good condition, good hard pack. All right, after 2 chimneys, drop down into a little gully, and then up toward a 3rd chimney. Summit post says they're class 4 mostly, and it looks about right to me. We finally have a good view of the south face from here. You can see almost the entire route to the summit. Can't quite make out all the features on the summit post photo from here, but I can see generally where I need to be. And there are some cairns on the way to help me out. I finally got my eyes on the horizontal crack that they were referencing. From that point, I get onto a ledge, turn to the left between two chimneys on some class 4 terrain. Looking back down the couloir, again, definitely class 4, exposed, and good rock the whole way. So yeah, not nearly as bad as it looks. So from here I turn to the left, and I think it's just class 3 moves for the rest of the way. Okay, I stand corrected there. I went one ledge above the rappel station and then turned to the left. Worked out good. Class 3 rock all the way. A little bit tricky to navigate. We're on the summit of Granite Peak, highest point in Montana. We have excellent views in every direction. Excellent weather. Though I don't want to stay here too long because I still have a long walk down today. There are a lot of rappel stations right here near the summit. So if you have a buddy and you don't like exposure, by all means. As for me, I like them because they're good landmarks. I passed the same one coming up, so I know I'm on the right track going down. Back on the wall between the two chimneys. Want to say down climbing this was probably the most difficult part so far. There are a couple of rappel stations here for anyone who's not comfortable down climbing. I just down climbed the highest of the 3 chimneys when approaching the snow bridge from above. As usual, a few tricky spots and a lot of good hand and footholds. I'm finding the route finding on the descent to be a little bit more difficult than on the climb up. However, each time I've come off course, I find the cairns and they take me back where I need to be. And I'm in the middle of the 3 chimneys now. If you're in doubt whether you're in the right place, there should be rappelling anchors at the top of each chimney. So if you don't see the anchor, go to another place. The last chimney, just above the snow bridge, by far the easiest. Might get tedious after this. Next section is not challenging enough to have fun, but it's just challenging enough to make me go slow. Alright, well, I'm back down near the Mystic Lake trailhead. Got a little bit of bad weather, so put my head down and ran for the tree line. Anyway, that was Granite Peak. I hope everybody enjoyed it. This is my first time doing something like this, so I'd love to hear some feedback. What do you think? What can I do different? Or if you enjoyed it, what other peaks would you like to see? All right, thanks. Bye.